Following Canada's first ever World Cup qualification in 1986, there was a push to create a professional league for Canadians to play at home, without the need to go abroad to play at a professional level. There were many attempts at this, some of which predated the World Cup qualification, as the National Soccer League stretched from 1926 to 1997, but was for the most part considered to be semi-professional, and was predominantly located in Ontario and Quebec. The Eastern Canada Professional Soccer League is another attempt at this, which spanned from 1961 to 1966, and once again contained teams primarily from Ontario and Quebec, with the exception of the Buffalo White Eagles from Buffalo, New York. And finally, there were prominent teams from Montreal, Toronto, Vancouver, Calgary, and Edmonton that played in the North American Soccer League before the collapse of the NASL in 1984. But after the collapse of the NASL, the Canadian Soccer Association wanted to build upon the World Cup qualification, as the country uniquely qualified for the World Cup without having a domestic professional league or even any domestic football teams at the time. This sparked the creation of the Canadian Soccer League, which was formed in 1987. In the league's inaugural season, 138 Canadian players were signed, including a significant portion of the 1986 squad. In addition, the league accepted regional teams from provincial amateur leagues and included a salary cap of $300,000. The inaugural 1987 season saw 8 teams divided into 2 divisions. The West Division, which included the Calgary Kickers, Edmonton Brickmen, Vancouver 86ers, and the Winnipeg Fury, while the East Division included the National Capital Pioneers, Hamilton Steelers, Toronto Blizzard, and the North York Rockets. In the 6-season history of the Canadian Soccer League, there is a lot of league movement, as new teams joined and some of the inaugural teams folded. As early as 1988, the league saw expansion, as the Montreal Supra joined to bring the league up to 9 teams, and by 1989, a 10th team in the Victoria Vistas joined the league. While the 1990 season saw both the Kitchener Spirit and London Lasers join the league, but also saw the first team fold, as the renamed Calgary Strikers left the league. 1991 saw 3 more teams fold, as the renamed Ottawa Intrepid and Edmonton Brickmen and the London Lasers after a single season left the league. But 1991 also saw the inclusion of the Nova Scotia Clippers, which was the only maritime team to ever see this league. 1992 saw the end of the Kitchener Kickers, Hamilton Steelers, and again in a similar vein to the London Lasers, the Nova Scotia Clippers just after 1 season. The final 1992 season saw just 6 teams in the league, as the Canadian Soccer League was made up of the North York Rockets, Montreal Supra, Toronto Blizzard, the Vancouver 86ers, the Winnipeg Fury, and for a second time, a reintroduced London Lasers franchise. 3 different clubs won the championship throughout the 6-year period, as the Calgary Kickers won the inaugural season, the Vancouver 86ers won the next 4 consecutive championships, and the Winnipeg Fury won the final championship in 1992. The CSL had a strong first couple of seasons financially, as the league had a broadcast deal with the national sports broadcast station TSN that included a CSL Game of the Week, which took place every Sunday evening. The league also had very reputable sponsorship backing, as companies like Gatorade, Gillette, Chrysler, Molson, Umbro, and many more were league-wide sponsors. With a TV deal and significant sponsorship, why did so many teams fold so fast? And why did the league only survive 6 seasons? Well, it partially comes down to the 1991 season and the folding of 3 franchises, which was not enough for the league to survive, as the league did not have all that many teams to begin with, and even with adding back the London Lasers to get back to 6 teams, which was the league minimum, the revenue loss was way too significant. Throughout the league's final season, the Vancouver 86ers stated that they were the only team to fully pay its league dues, and even had to inject $65,000 for the London Lasers to finish the season in order to pay travel costs and whatnot. The final blow for the CSL came on October 6, 1992, after the CSL 1992 final, in which Vancouver announced it would move to the new American Professional Soccer League, which had a higher salary budget and would have higher financial stability than where the CSL was currently at. The CSL did claim it would go back up to 7 teams in 1993, but Montreal and Toronto wanted to move to the APSL also. And while Montreal did not meet the financial requirements, they formed a new club, named the Montreal Impact. But the teams leaving did not end, as both Winnipeg and North York joined the Canadian National Soccer League, which, as mentioned earlier, folded by 1997. So where did this leave Canada Soccer? Well, since there's been many MLS teams that have formed, Vancouver Whitecaps, Toronto FC, Montreal Impact, which then moved to the MLS later, but there wasn't another professional league in Canada until 2019, in which the Canadian Premier League was founded. And while at a lower level than the MLS, the CPL offers a professional place for young Canadians to play professional soccer instead of moving over to Europe or going to an MLS academy. It gives another option for players who haven't been noticed or maybe fell through the cracks. The fall of the CSL was unfortunate and certainly held Canada Soccer back many decades. But with this next generation of players and the newly formed Canadian Premier League, soccer has been steadily growing, and the caliber of players playing around the world has rose. With that being said, thank you all for watching. I really enjoyed researching an older defunct league, so if that interests you, let me know in the comments below. Feel free to like, subscribe if you enjoyed it, and as always, have a great day.